Okay, so this is just a little preamble that I'm going to add on to the front of my coverage of Rav's deleted stream, where he responds to some of the Super Mega drama. This is Rav's main statement about it. This happened just before he did his stream, just a couple of days before. Obviously, his stream was in response to Matt and Ryan's apology videos. So we're just going to read through this just to give us some context for the rest of what I'm going to show in this video, and we'll see what's going on. So, what has Rav said here? For those who don't know, Rav is a friend, or he's a rapper, internet rapper, who is friends with Lex. Ethan is online, Lex's boyfriend, and Leighton. So he's part of like the sort of scummy little group that have coordinated to try and fuck with SuperMega. And the whole subreddit, SuperMega subreddit, has turned on this group now. Very crazy stuff to see, honestly. But we'll have a look. Now that Lex has made a statement addressing her situation with SuperMega, I feel the time is appropriate for me to share my perspective on this matter as someone who is both familiar with all the parties involved and has personal involvement in the situation. In short, I'm inserting myself into this discussion because both because I was present during many of the key events, and because having witnessed many of them up close, I feel morally obligated to provide validity to Lex's account. Right out the gate, I would like to make it abundantly clear that I have no desire to drama farm going into this. I certainly don't wish to see Matt or Ryan's career prospects get permanently and irreversibly shattered as a consequence of this story coming out. You'll see a bit of a different side to him in this stream that I'm about to show on the video. But I certainly don't believe this is something they're incapable of learning from and overcoming. I do, however, in the same breath, also hold firm that need to hold accountability for some of their words, actions, and inactions in order for them to seriously and genuinely reassess their conduct and hopefully subsequently reform. Is this all deleted, by the way, I think? Or maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just blocked. I am blocked by Rav, by the way. I just put a tweet out about that. Go check it out on Twitter. Twitter.com/Kuihman, twitter.com/Kuihman. For those who haven't seen Lex's video on this matter, I urge you to do so before going any further. For some context, I was hanging out with Matt and Ryan during the evening. Lex informed me about the sexual assault incident over the phone. This was when Matt, Ryan, and I first learned of the incident, and the boys consulted me a number of times on the matter from that point onwards. So just a bit of context, if you haven't seen Matt and Ryan's response, there are texts where Rav is saying it doesn't seem that serious. So, nice one, dipshit. So it consulted me a number of times. Lex was a mutual friend of all parties involved, and at the time, her and I were planning to move into a shared home together to ease some of the financial burden of living in LA. The Super Mega boys let me and Lex crash at their office space, the Plex, while we looked for a spot to rent. The boys were actively working with their then thumbnail artist at the time, Don, at the time of this revelation. I'd previously worked and hung out with Don too, as I used to occasionally hire him for commission work. Beyond this point, I felt it might be more productive for me to highlight some of the key relevant moments that go over every instance in considerable detail. A few examples should hopefully suffice, as my main intention is to provide some clarity. Besides, Lex's account does a good job of outlining most of the key events as is. One of the most alarming instances during this time for me personally was finding out that Matt and Ryan, after talking to both Lex and Don separately about the incident, urged the two of them to talk things out and reconcile. So you were also saying it wasn't that serious at the time, but whatever. This is something Matt and... because they thought it was a miscommunication. It probably was a miscommunication, let's be real. But whatever. This is something Matt and Ryan at the same time said they told Lex, and Lex also confirmed this to me separately. A victim of sexual assault ought to be nurtured and protected in these kinds of moments, not be told to make up with their assaulter. So that you, included, did not think it was an assault at the time, right? It was clearly, people were going with the idea that it was a miscommunication of boundaries, and it still seems like what it was. This guy's such a little freak. This, in my opinion, is an example of the boys attempting to wash their hands of any responsibility pertaining to the incident, choosing instead to make themselves as uninvolved as possible. Yet, why would they want to involve themselves in this? It's a private relationship between, someone that is not even employed by them but contracted, and his girlfriend at the time, right? This is not to do with them. It is also, in my eyes, a failure to appropriately recognise the severity of the situation. Worse yet, they further surrendered their responsibility of dealing with their employee to the victim by asking Lex whether they should fire Don or not. Instead of taking matters into their own hands, for the record, this was also confirmed by all the parties involved. Again, the victim should not be charged with making such decisions. It is incumbent on the employer, not employer, contractor, whatever, whose employee sexually assaulted their friend. Dude, it is not. This is not incumbent upon. Why, dude? Your private relationships and whatever crossing of boundary may happen during them is nothing to do with your employer, unless it's like happening at work. It didn't happen at Matt's home. It happened at Matt's home. It didn't happen at the SuperMegaplex. So it is nothing to do with SuperMega themselves, really. And they still ask Lex what she wanted done about it. This reads as another instance of Matt and Ryan attempting to hand over responsibility altogether rather than to step up to their professional and moral duties. It's not their duty. On another event that disturbed me similarly was an exchange I had with Matt and Ryan when I confronted them about the two aforementioned points in person around that time. I recall the first words that came out of Matt's mouth, well, you know, legally speaking, we don't actually have to do anything here. Very true. Which was certainly shocking. You said it wasn't that serious, so it shouldn't be that shocking. This is apparently something Matt also told Lex in a separate conversation prior, and is obviously not the sort of thing a well-adjusted, empathetic person would say, let alone a good friend. Yeah, you sound super well-adjusted right now, bro. Ryan didn't interject, correct, or paraphrase anything at any point to either. Just to be clear, throughout it all, it appeared the boys were operating in agreement with one another. It took Lex a lot of strength and courage to open up to them about her traumatic experience in the first place, and then Matt and Ryan treated her case as an inconvenience/nuisance time and time again. Sure, Matt and Ryan aren't at fault for what Don did to Lex, but they're certainly responsible for the ways in which they dealt with the information disclosed to them. Yeah, they should have just not been involved. They should have just said, I'm not involved. Deal with it yourself. That is what they should have done. I 100% agree. Especially when it pertains to their professional associate. The truth of the matter is, we don't get to choose what happens to or around us, but it is up to us how we react to those things. Yeah, they should have just not been involved. 100% I agree. They fucked up by giving anyone any involvement and trying to help at all. Absolutely agree with you there, Rav. From where I stood, it was clear they didn't want anything to negatively affect their professional lives further, but their selfish inaction ended up affecting mine and Lex's work instead. Us keeping our silence on this matter has only benefited them and their brand, but they have yet to reciprocate this in any meaningful way. So, not aggressing on someone is not protection. This is a lie that Lex keeps pushing, is the idea that because they didn't speak out, they were somehow protecting Matt and Ryan. No, that's not the case. If I have a gun and I choose not to shoot you, that is not me protecting you. That's me simply just not aggressing on you. Okay? The way Lex aired this out was honestly wretched. It involved a bunch of personal details and a bunch of convoluted stories that had nothing to do with the actual situation itself. It could have just been a call out on Don. It could have mentioned maybe that SuperMega didn't help very much or that they were bad friends in the situation. Maybe you could have said that if you really wanted to. But that's not that. The rest of it was not relevant. And anyway, I don't even... Yeah, that's assuming that Lex genuinely feels it was a sexual assault, which I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, that she does genuinely feel that she was sexually assaulted. Because ultimately, it seems like it was probably just a miscommunication of boundaries. It was just a bad sexual experience. You know, if she agreed, if she consented, even if it was like a couple hours before she said no because she had a cold sore, and then later on Don asks again, and she says yes, that's not sexual assault. That's not coercion. Coercion is the implication or invocation of force or threat to secure consent. He did not do that from either of their accounts. So, whatever. We'll move on. I'm going to play the Rav stream now for the video. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. This Rav guy is one of the most wretched people you will ever see. It's a good time to say as well, like, sub, donate. This is the only place online that you can find this Rav stream right now. Nobody has archived it. I'm the only one who has it, it seems. So enjoy that. And that's it.
I'm sorry. I've turned the alerts off my screen so that y'all aren't like trying to give me stuff or subscribe and distract me, you know? I mean, you guys can do that if you want. That's your own money, but I don't want nothing to distract me from the conversation at hand. So, let's get this started. And again, be patient with me. I'm a lot more ADHD when I'm high, so I
It,
try to be
I can't tell if this is Bomber fucking up or what's going on.
as good at this as I can be. All right. So for those that don't know, my good friend and artist Lex Updog, also known as Nice Updog, came forward talking about her experience with Dawn in SuperMega. She posted a 2+ hour video. That sounds like a lot. I know that may sound like Oppenheimer, but trust me when I tell you that not a single moment is wasted. She goes off like a machine gun, but with the precision of a sniper rifle. So watch that to be clued in on the situation as best as you can.
Wasn't very precise. She blew everyone up, but sure.
It's a great start.
I stepped forward to provide validity to Lex's account as someone who was there. I was there throughout most of it, and it was fucking awful. It was really, really destroying her for a very long time. So I'm very glad to see that this is finally something that hopefully we'll all be able to move past. I don't want to linger on anything that could be perceived as drama farming. I'm a person who's involved in this situation. I have moral obligations that I feel I need to step up to. I know that for some of you guys, this is entertainment, this is showmanship. These are my friends. And
Bro, shut up.
I want to approach it.
Well, just gay hat as well, bro.
This will be the first part here is going to be the only part that can be constituted as tea. If any of you are in here who are not my regular viewers, and you're hoping to clip champ something interesting, you're not going to get that from me. I'm sorry. You're just not going to get that. I don't think so. So y'all can just scram. However, I do have a lot of things I want to say later on in the stream, specifically to the SuperMega fans. I hope the SuperMega fans stick around, and maybe some content creators and aspiring content creators. All right,
We're here. We're watching.
Here's the part that I would like to get out of the way first. It is address Matt and Ryan's response. Matt made a response video today, as did Ryan. I've watched both of them. I would like to extend my gratitude to both of them for owning up to the damage that they dealt, to the hurt that they dealt to Lex in the way that they handled and mishandled things. As far as some of the things that Matt said,
Lex was modding the chat and getting blown the fuck out. Okay, that sounds pretty funny. Sadly,
I have to address just to clear a few things up. One of the things that Matt said is that they never wanted to cover this thing up. They never wanted to cover up. This was never a cover up. There was no intentions. There were no actions to cover things up. I'm gonna give Matt a charitable view here, and
I'm sure
assume that he just didn't really think through what he said when he said that, because cover-ups are not cover-ups have they take different forms and shapes, right?
Oh my god. This is so gay. An FBI Jesus Christ.
Public, right? Keeping it from public. Sometimes a cover-up is just silence.
That's no, it's not. No.
They didn't let him go on honest terms. They didn't really explain to him why they let go of him. His name was still present in their YouTube video descriptions for a long time afterwards. And furthermore, they brought Kelly, Foolish Kia, back on as their artist, ostensibly requesting that she matches Dawn's old style for their thumbnails. That is a cover-up too.
Yeah, because they want a minimum amount of impact on the content, obviously.
She would have never agreed to.
Jesus Christ.
Right? I don't want to linger on this point too much. I just wanted to expound upon the idea of cover-up. I think the problem here was the complacency, the silence, the cowardice. All of that played in the cover-up. And I remember.
Okay, you've got to re-show that it's a cover-up.
Address as such.
He's not going to.
From what I took away from his video.
Evidence?
The next
evidence source?
I've got a couple bullet points. Not too many, don't worry. What could be perceived as the duplicitous nature of our interactions with Matt. So as some of you may know, if you've seen Matt's video, Matt had made the claim that he didn't quite understand why Lex and I... He didn't quite understand how Lex and I could still be upset if we were sending each other pretty, okay, friendly messages, right? Since last year until now. There's been a few...
Bro, this whole, soft boy act he's doing is, some of the most wretched shit I've ever seen, man. I hate
Matt is,
people who act this pathetic and sniveling. Right? It's so gay.
So some people might see those text messages and be like, man, why were Lex and Rav so friendly with Matt when he had, according to them,
we were scared.
Did them so dirty, right? The reality is we tried to address the matter with them time and time again. And it was very difficult for us, especially when we got robbed on on our way to Seattle.
Oh my god.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. Constantly getting
And
robbed.
half of my album. But among other things, it wasn't just that. It was also our medication. You know, I'm pretty sure Lex is open about her ADHD. She's very ADHD, and really requires
Oh my god.
her medicine to be able to operate at her full extent. For me, I am on antidepressants, and the antidepressant I'm on, I happen to be prescribed the highest dosage of it. From the highest dosage to 0 overnight, and I was suffering in the throes of withdrawals for quite a bit. And during that time is when some of those messages also were taking place, when I was trying to message Matt and Ryan and conciliate, try to get them to talk to us in person. It was very difficult. It was very difficult to try to be an adult about things whilst it felt like my mind was in such absolute disarray. We kept trying over and over again, and whenever we tried to open up about it,
This guy's so pathetic and sniveling. It's so
the boys
wretched.
would push us away. They would push us away, and everyone in their circle would. It would seem like they wouldn't fuck with us either.
The way
They
he's
were getting
talking.
blacklisted. Whether Matt and Ryan were doing this on purpose or understanding of what they were doing is besides the point. That's what the effect was. A lot of people stopped fucking with us. I know this because a lot of them have since reached out over the last few days, apologizing or essentially ostracizing us. This is also, of course, bleeds into the whole cover-up thing. But my point about the duplicitous nature, we noticed that whenever we did that, it would push them and everyone else away. And whenever we had just chit-chat and conversations about anything else, suddenly they pulled us back in. They rewarded us being agreeable. And they would punish us, whether they understood this or not, if we were stirring trouble. That's how they most likely perceived it. So, at some point, Lex and I had all but given up and thought to ourselves, well, this is going to be something we're going to have to work through in our own lives and therapy and whatever, right? Because they don't want to address it. We don't want to make a mess. We don't want to be completely alienated from the entire industry. Let's make amends with them. Not forgive them for what they had done, but almost kind of move past it, right?
He's doing a Sakuno voice. Yes, that is so true. That is so true.
Felt like they were only festering. And we reached a point where I think we understood that our silence was enforced out of a want to protect our friends. Because we love our friends.
What?
Even though they fucked up, we love them, and we hope they learn. We don't want to make a mess.
What is this idea that protection of someone is like the same thing as like just not aggressing on them? Like it's not.
Actually permeating in our
like
lives.
not shooting someone is not the same as protecting them from being shot. You know.
Reached a conclusion.
But they keep saying this. Oh, we were defending them. We were defending them. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You just weren't out on them for a bunch of random shit.
What good is it to protect Matt and Ryan if
you're not? It wasn't protection.
Abandoning ourselves in all of this. We weren't protecting ourselves. In fact, we were failing ourselves. We weren't honoring our feelings. And so, that is why some of those messages may seem friendly. We were just trying to navigate our way through it. Next point I'm going to bring up is Leighton. I consider Leighton a good friend. I spent a lot of time with him last year. He'd be one of the first people to arrive each morning, one of the last people to leave the office. So I interacted with him a lot. And I also got to see how...
I mean, he's just been outed for totally fucking stuff up and acknowledged he fucked everything up when he was the merch guy.
And for sure, what I had witnessed is an inability to separate work from personal life. The boys were sometimes wearing their working hats. Sometimes they'd be wearing their, not working hats. I'm just like, oh, personal hats. But sometimes they'd have both of those hats on, right? Especially if your friends happen to be your subordinates, your working subordinates. Even if it's outside of work, there's this understanding that the better relationship is with your boss outside of work, the more secure your position is at work. I witnessed them being mean to Leighton. I witnessed a lot of these things. I witnessed a lot of undignified ways that they would communicate with him. And whether this is something they had previously agreed upon or not is besides the point. I quite frankly don't give a shit because this is not something they should have agreed on in the first place. To me, it is akin to hiring a black employee and then being like, you don't mind if I say that N-word around you, right? You don't mind if I just make little race jokes, right? Come on, it's all in good fun. It's not even should be a point of discussion.
Bro, it's a comedy fucking show.
Wildly inappropriate.
Dude.
And I think the boys, at least from the videos that I watched this morning, I like to think that they're coming to that realization already.
This guy is such a sniveling little emotionally wretch, man. I fucking hate freaks like this, bro.
But he made his statement in a video. Not a video, sorry, stream, Twitch stream.
You imagine if he was black?
There was a lot of catharsis.
Black joke?
There was a lot of, it was an important moment, but also it was a little messy from where I stand. And again, I love Leighton, but it was a little messy. However, I implore that everyone takes a step back, takes a deep breath, and reminds themselves, Leighton has BPD. Now, excuses or forms of his messiness or not is not up to me. However,
He is
it does
insane.
provide some context as to
Literally.
why he has displayed intense emotions over the last few days.
This is
Or
so
in a way, this is
rancid,
like
man.
communication. He had been
This is
tossed
just
aside
manipulation.
in a
That's
city
all it is.
where he was taking
I
care
hate
of
this little
himself,
freak
his
so
partner
much.
who was cheating on him and not paying any rent. He relied on his employer for his medication, his health care, his home, all of these things, right?
Yeah, he
When you
was a
lose all
leech.
these things, whether you
Yes.
have BPD or not, or you feel like you're on the verge of losing all these things, I think it is more than understandable that a person would be highly emotional. I don't think it's very sympathetic to jump in and be like, well, why did he handle it in a calm and mature way? He could, I'm sure he would.
He's mentally ill.
And to the last couple points before I move on talking to more directly to the SuperMega fans is Matt, briefly, I don't want to dispel everything Matt has said. I also don't want to dogpile. I don't want to bring in more instances that have, in my opinion, over the last 5 years that I've seen, that made me a little concerned a couple of times.
And what are you doing right now?
Because
What
I
are you
think
doing right now then?
There's no point to add on
2 hour stream.
anything. I think the boys are facing...
I want to tell you guys that there's a bunch of other stuff I could say, but I'm not going to, so it can't be
I do
contested.
want to clarify
Nice
one
one,
point when Matt
dipshit.
said that he's never said the SuperMega
Just
is
rope.
purpose.
Just rope.
Again, I'm going to just assume Matt is forgetting the wording that he has used. But on multiple occasions, I personally have heard Matt refer to SuperMega either as his magnum opus or
Who
something
cares
that
about
is
the magnum opus?
He said he referred to it as magnum
Without
opus. He said that.
anything tarnish that. But that's neither here nor there in grand scale of things. The only reason I pointed that part out because I feel like that was unfair of him to mention that in the way that he did, because it sort of invalidates some of Lex's message, and I think that's unfair as someone, again, who had...
Oh, shut up, you little
this
freak.
And so this is going to be the point. The next point I'm
Reminder,
gonna make is
Lex
gonna
cannot be
transitions
wrong.
My conversation
Because she was raped.
everyone to SuperMega
Okay,
fans or former SuperMega fans. In my statement on Twitter that I posted, I think a lot of people misinterpreted a couple sections. I said that I don't think that this is something that's going to be something that the boys cannot learn and overcome, like grow from, right? I think people mistook it as me saying, well, look, they did a big no-no, but it's okay. They get to keep SuperMega. It's going to be fine. Everything's still going to be great. That's not up to me to say, first of all, even if I had an opinion like that, which I do not. This is what it is. You go for years, unchecked,
Unchecked on what?
actively participating in behavior that is unchecked over and over and over again.
What
Keep
needs to be
pushing boundaries,
checked?
right? This is going to sound really fucked up. I'm not comparing them one-to-one. This is going to sound fucked up, but it is in my view that this is how we get people like Weinstein over time. I don't think people like Weinstein overnight were just like, all right, I'm just going to get everybody to touch my genitals.
Kill
before they get
myself
jobs, right?
so...
It's something that starts off
Oh my
like
God.
pushing boundaries lightly.
Male
Testing the
lav.
limits.
Male
Seeing how far you can get away
lav.
with
This
it.
is male
As
lav,
time goes on,
guys.
people who
Holy
hell will
fuck.
have like a backlash to your behavior.
This is so
You push them into
crazy,
the circle.
man.
And the people that reward your behavior and agree with your behavior, you bring them in and they continue to nurture that
I am
part in
manifesting
you, right?
a rock.
Whether
I
it
come
is
barreling through that
deliberate or
window.
not. In my opinion, it's partially the consequences of systems.
Oh,
This is the world we find
just got a
ourselves in.
notification, but it didn't show up on stream, so I don't know what it was.
It is not for me to decide how long they're going to be away for, or whether they should be allowed back into this specific space or not. That is not up to me. When I said what I said, I meant that I genuinely believe that this is not going to define them forever, who they are as people. This is my hope. This is just me projecting my hope.
This guy's such a rancid little
What's
freak,
happening
man.
right now is called consequences. What they're going through, and I know, and I've gone through the SuperMega Reddit up and down over the last few days, right? As many of us have, I'm sure. And
Monitoring the situation.
a lot of people are struggling to make sense of everything. It hurts a lot of people what has happened, right? So of course it's not up to me to forgive them. And so I just wanted to clarify that point. It has nothing to do with that. I think what's happening right now is the consequences. So, onto you, SuperMega fans. You did nothing wrong. You did nothing wrong in supporting SuperMega. You didn't fall in love with SuperMega because they were, hiding truths about sexual harassment within their sphere. You didn't fall in love with them because of the inappropriate things that they would be saying or doing to their employees behind closed curtains, right? This is not the reasons why y'all got into this. There were valid, good things that attracted you to SuperMega's content. And it really breaks my heart. I've cried so much over the last few days reading the Reddit. Because it breaks my heart to see cynicism spread in the way that it has.
Little break, man.
Just tears dropping on your keyboard.
It is easy to be cynical.
Reddit on the screen.
I know I'm only 31, but I traveled the world. I'm always on the move.
He's 31?
Traveled up and down all over the world. Met people of all kinds of cultural and ethnic backgrounds. And
seriously, he's 31?
He just said he was 31, and I'm traveling all around the world. I'm only 31.
Are oftentimes not great. And so I am someone who is always hopeful, even when it is really hard. In fact, I try to be hopeful, especially when it is really hard. You didn't do anything wrong. I saw people talking about how they spent the last 8 years supporting Matt and Ryan, and then blaming themselves and somehow thinking that it says something about them, you know, as people. It doesn't say anything about you necessarily. It can. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what you were attracted to, you know.
Yeah, this is the guy whose girlfriend or wife killed herself. Yeah.
Only plays playthroughs, and you thought, man, this is my kind of guy. And then, in which case,
Shame.
you're in it for the wrong thing, right? But for the most part, a lot of you aren't. I've seen so many of you. Matt, Ryan, and I have a lot of crossover audience. When I go and I tour, I perform. A lot of the fans that I meet will have SuperMega merch, SuperMega tattoos, SuperMega fashion. You know, for a lot of people, Matt have been a beacon of style. You know, for a lot of people, their idea, their sense of fashion awakened through seeing how Matt dresses, right? Matt didn't invent these things, but a lot of people will probably feel weird now that, like, oh my god, dress like Matt, or I dress like Ryan. The inside jokes between me and my friends.
Were they even
jokes. I've got SuperMega
fashion
tattoo.
icons?
My life is a lie. It is not. It is absolutely not.
They sell merch, I guess.
There's so many good things that the boys brought into the world through SuperMega that wasn't just hurt. You know, retroactively, we can look over everything in the past with a magnifying glass and pick everything apart in whichever way. But I don't think it's healthy. First of all, I don't think it's going to serve anyone any benefit now. Now that I would hope that this is the end of this whole ordeal. But you didn't do anything wrong. You liked things. You found community. What is incredible to me is how wonderful the SuperMega community is. Yes, y'all are annoying as fuck sometimes. And yes,
I love you guys so much. Please believe me. Please believe me. Please believe me. Please believe me.
Over the last few days on your Reddit.
Everyone in chat
But beyond
giving
that,
me
you're
support.
sweet people.
Oh
I've met people.
god.
I've met so many trans SuperMega fans. You know?
Oh.
Community within the SuperMega fandom.
Oh god, this is so rancid.
All those friends you made, all those people you talked to, do you look at them any less? Do you see them any less now? No, they're victims. As are you. Of course, Lex is the main victim at the center of the story. There's
God,
also
I hope
victims,
you're all valid.
whether it's Leighton, whether it's myself, whether it's anyone else. But you are also a victim in this. Because you didn't sign up for this either. And yet this is something you're having to deal with. And I wanted to say, I'm so proud of you. You have done the right thing. Even though you guys are beating yourselves up about it over the last few days. You did what you needed to do. You signal boosted Lex's voice. You signal boosted so many voices that needed to be.
You helped us get us revenge, guys. You helped get us revenge.
Spoke out on our own. There have been so many of these
Guys, their sub count has gone down. You did this.
Why should we trust her? Whatever, right? You guys made people take it seriously. You guys made Matt and Ryan take it seriously. And that's incredible. You stood up. You stood up to the plate. And you ought to be proud of yourselves. That is the kind of community of people you are. Not some fans of racist and homophobic and whatever other off-color jokes or whatever. That's not what you are. You are good people who have helped Alexa's voice and my voice get heard.
I like the subtle, you're not the bad
fans
fans
my experience.
that make the bad jokes.
I'm trying to work through it in therapy. And I just don't feel comfortable talking about some of my things in public, especially now that I think they're not going to serve any additional value to the conversation.
Okay, good. Don't.
I do want you to not be so hard on yourselves. You've done the right thing, and now you need to take care of yourselves. Now it is time for you to heal. It's time for you to take care of yourself and each other.
This is literally male lav.
It's
It's like all the same therapy language shit. Like,
so many of you, your lives
no.
so
Bro.
deeply entangled with the SuperMega content.
If your life is that deeply fucking entangled with a YouTube comedy Let's Play channel you watch, you need help outside of this. This is not a matter of you
I would
just
recommend
healing from this. It's a matter of you fucking sorting your fucking life out, sorting your severe mental illness out. He's getting the call. Oy vey.
Shut it down now.
Well, I had just been called and informed. I've been informed that I've been rambling. I'm going to speed it up.
Well,
Right, he literally got the call. He literally got the call.
One of my favorite creators.
You're rambling. Get to the point.
Don't
be-
Lex, just you saw what happened to Leighton. I can make it happen to you too. I have another 3 hours in me.
Communities, even my own community. Although I'm not a content creator in the same vein, so I don't think it's wise for y'all. But there's plenty of content creators who have wonderful communities out there. And before I leave, there's a message I wanted to leave for the content creators out there. And I'm sorry that I have been rambling. It's really hard. My brain is scrambled. I'm not on any medication right now, and it is really difficult to talk about these things.
Oh my god. I'm off my meds, guys. I'm off my meds.
Good to know. You're making this video.
For
Unmedicated.
content creators out there, I think if you're going to start scaling your company up, you need to involve HR. There is no way for you to draw a line. There's no way for you to enforce certain things without an interview.
There's like 5 people in this company, by the way.
Once you
They
start
need a
scaling
HR
up,
department.
Were able to. They should have hired HR. And as you continue to scale up, I advise that the workers at these companies unionize. That is all of the advice I
Union?
I've been thinking about this a lot. I hope this opens up.
Oh,
this
man.
situation opens up a discussion about
What, the one person union? Like,
how to more healthily navigate ourselves within this industry. I'm now finally looking at the chat. Look, I'm sure some of you are. Oh my god, 2,000 viewers.
Union of 3
Just let you know,
people.
there's not gonna be any more tea. Just scram.
Union of contractors. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. All I wanted to say was that I'm glad Matt and Ryan apologized. I'm glad everyone who spoke out. I'm grateful that the SuperMega fandom had signal boosted it. Yes, there's some people who are fucking annoying and didn't do that, or couldn't do that, but I don't blame them either. You know, everyone's on their own journey.
it's not their fault.
Yeah, that's it. I have nothing else to say as far as SuperMega stuff. I want to spend the next 10 to 15 minutes just catching up with my own fans, y'all. So, I strongly recommend y'all get the fuck out of here, because you're not going to get anything out of me.
What a little
Also, again,
freak.
For everyone that's been, showing a lot of support and following me and all of these other things, I really appreciate it. But
I like how in the middle of it he mentioned, yeah, also I'm on tour.
I want
Yeah,
When
yeah.
I'm going on tours.
and
Wink.
help all the victims out by supporting them. And yeah, that's it. I know a lot of people. I'm curious. You know what? I usually don't give a fuck about people who don't agree. Don't curate work environment where you expose yourself to your employees and encourage to do the same. 100%. Yeah, 100%. Like, duh. There's lots of mistakes that have been made. Both Matt and Ryan have talked about them. Especially, I feel like Ryan's video was the last one I watched, so maybe that's what stuck with me the most. They addressed it. Okay, it's time to heal and not to. In my opinion,
heal.
to continue.
Bro, shut the fuck
hurting
up.
ourselves. I don't know. Personally,
Always
I'm not going to
done.
be crip walking on anyone's grave. That's all. Stop talking. LMAO, you thought it was hilarious when they exposed themselves. You're just being two-faced now because you want to side with Leighton. Leighton is a garbage human being.
True.
If you knew Leighton, you would never say that. I'm really sorry. Sorry that you are the kind of person currently.
I feel like if I knew
reacts to
him,
these kinds of
I'd
I'd hate him more.
more harsh.
themselves. Their balls to me a couple of times without my consent. And I thought it was weird. But I never really thought of it much. I'm not their employee.
Like, you mean like Leighton was when Leighton was doing it in the
Never really
office
called
as
it out
well?
too much.
You mean like
I
that?
have my own boundaries.
Oh well, he's gay, so they're supposed to do that kind of thing.
Oh right, yeah, I forget about that. They're allowed to be sexual degenerates, part of the culture.
Anyway, that's it. I learned your stuff through their podcast with you and Bill, hearing everything. It's got my brain doing backflips, but I appreciate wholeheartedly that you've taken the route that you have by addressing us fans. It's made the news easier to digest. I know that I knew that'd be the case because when I was reading through the Reddit, it's like everyone's like, where do we go? What kind of music do I listen to? What kind of creators do I follow? What do I do about my stuff? What do I do about this guilty feeling? And I just wanted y'all to not have that, or at least reassure you that there is more path than just a path of like self-destruction.
Bro, I hate this like pretending like you're doing other people a favor shit. It's like so cringe and wretched, man.
And if we do we have mods in here? If we do have mods in here, not block these people, but the
Mods.
people who are popping off.
Delete the negative
Give them a
messages.
week off.
Jesus Christ.
Delete
It's
anything
okay, chat.
disagreeing
Also,
with
like,
me.
guys, after this, please don't engage with yourselves in a back and forth. There's going to be grifters who are always going to try to capitalize off of any kind of drama.
That's me. That's me. That's me.
And they die out.
That's Chud.
As for the other SuperMega fans that still want to defend SuperMega or feel some kind of way, just don't engage them either.
Don't engage with the people
It's not
trying to
gonna be for
defend
you.
them.
I don't know if
Oh
it's
my
gonna be good for them
God.
either. I'm so
Literal.
sorry, mods. I really don't have enough mods to handle this kind of traffic. But
Can't
yeah.
say it.
That's it. That's it. All right, let's talk about me now. Get the fuck out of here. Well, what about
I
you?
know this man doesn't
I already
fish.
know it's about me,
Why is he wearing a fishing hat?
so it doesn't distract me. What about me? I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. I'm doing as well as I could be.
I wish terrible things on this guy, honestly.
Eventful in the last few days have been. Sorry I haven't streamed in a minute. As some of you may know, I went on tour. Tour was fun as fuck. I came back from tour, and I've been working on a lot of music. I'm not exaggerating. I have written 20 songs since I've come back from tour. And
Guys,
I have,
stuff's dropping soon, guys.
recorded a few of them.
Well, I've got everyone here.
And
Stuff's
I
dropping
want
soon.
to- yeah, I intend to release a lot of interesting and fun projects over the course of the next year and a half. And sorry, this feels weird talking about all of this right after the other stuff, but I need to. This is for me. This is for me, not anyone else. Okay.
It's pretty funny how he came on. He basically didn't say anything. He just talked about how like
I got a lot of music I've been working on. I've also actually been working
everyone's
on.
valid.
Yeah,
Everyone's
literally.
just needs to heal and move
guys,
on. Also,
Leighton's a good
my
guy.
music?
Leighton's a good guy. Don't say anything bad about Leighton, guys. Stop arguing with each other about it. Right, no way am I seeing SuperMega fans post memes with the fucking N-word hard RM right now.
What?
I checked Twitter for a brief moment.
They are not allowed. They do not have the pass.
Ugh.
I really don't understand how the system works. Yeah, it was mainly I first started writing it for fellow artists, to kind of warn them from away from certain things and provide some guidance. But as I started diving into the subject more, I was like, you know what, like, why not clue everyone in on some of this stuff? Should probably change the title. Oh my fucking god, thank you. Raft time, no more drama. Sorry, no, not sorry, no more drama. That's it. Boom.
Well, I think we're done with that.
I just want to present a lot of information.
Okay. What a spineless little freak that guy is, eh?
He's just telling his side of the story.
Yeah, clearly. Oh my god.
Listen to his songs on Spotify. Listen to his songs on Spotify.
Oh, okay, right. Are we done with stream? Guys, like, sub donate? I don't know if I've got anything else to cover.